to this. All right, welcome to the 12th episode of the Kentucky Elk Hunting Webinar Series. So, we wanted to take a minute and just clarify a few things on the regulated area sign up that opens Monday, August 9th. So that's this coming Monday at 8 a.m. Eastern time. So pay attention to the Eastern time for the Central time folks in West Kentucky, 8 a.m. Eastern time. So Joe and I have gotten several questions about this over the last week or so and thought this would just be a good quick topic for a webinar. And, we've actually got several regulated areas that are open right now. I was surprised by that. So those people that are floating around in a unit, it's a prime opportunity to sign up for a regulated area. So just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. As we're thinking about regulated areas and as you're looking at them for the area you draw, we have gone in and updated a lot of the information associated with those regulated areas. So just due to the nature of our landowner agreements and maybe some active coal mining that's going on, the access points change from year to year, month to month even. So we've gone around, we've verified just about every single one of them and updated that in the biologist info section for the regulated areas. So if you haven't looked at them since back in June or July and you're signed up for one or you're planning to sign up for one, take a look at them. A few things may have changed. We've got GPS coordinates for the access points and some info on that. And just kind of get reassociated with that and check back often. Check back before your season. A road may close, a new road may open, a gate might go up. That's out of our control, but we try to keep current with it. So either way, so Joe's with us today, and he's basically going to run you through the leftover regulated area sign-up system. So things in MyProfile will change just a little bit at 8 o'clock Monday morning. And so we've got sort of basically our test account set up to walk you through some of those things. So there's no confusion Monday morning. So I'm going to turn it over to Joe and let him share his MyProfile test account.
All righty. So like you said, this is just a test account, right? This is not, it's actually called Elk McTester. We're not drawn for this firearm hunt, but in this test account example, we have a bull firearm week 2 permit and we were placed into elk hunting unit number 2. So that's all the stuff that we've talked about before. You can see where you're drawn up at the top. But you go on down to view what's left, what's available for you to sign up for in the view regulated areas button. This is the same process that you all took when you were going to make your selections. And now that the area assignment's over, I will point out, so you look here again, our test account is assigned to elk hunting unit 2. So the only properties, the only regulated areas that I'm eligible to hunt are now in unit 2. And this, you see where everything's highlighted in green here. That just, shows that that's what I have. And everything else is in red. So if you had elk hunting unit 3, obviously you would see a different selection of what's available to you than I do currently. But yes, in this example, we have elk hunting unit 2. And to go through here and see what's available to you, that we don't really have like a better option than just to click through everything. So, here in unit 2, we've got these 5 properties. I'm going to click on the first one on Buffalo Branch. We hit view. Again, this takes us to the property specific page for this particular tract. It's the same screen that you all saw when you're going to make your area selections, except down here, the first thing I guess you'll see, the available hunter spots per tag type or permit type. This has definitely changed. A quick refresher. This 1 out of 1 here for bull gun 2 means there's 1 spot allocated for a hunter during that week, and where it says 1/1, that means that spot is currently unfilled. If you look just to the left at the bull gun 1, on the right, that means that there is 1 spot available. The 0 means that is currently filled. There's 0 openings for a new hunter. Up here on the top left, this is the big thing that I think you'll want to focus in on. This is a developmental account. So if you sign in right now or over the weekend, anytime prior to August 9th at 8 a.m., you're not going to see exactly this, but we wanted to show you what it will look like. So There's some code or something written in here that basically August 9th at 8 a.m. your screen is going to go from telling you that the sign up period will begin on August 9th at 8 a.m. to this. It'll say welcome and enter your name right here. And then if there is a spot available for you, or, for your permit type on that property, you'll see this blue button that says sign up. All right. Again, currently that button is not right there, but starting on the 9th and moving until the end of the season, that button will be there. If right at 8 a.m. you go click on the property that you want and it doesn't show this blue button, just hit refresh real quick. You don't have to worry about hitting refresh, 5-10 minutes beforehand. Like I said, it will not become live until actually 8 o'clock. So right at 8 o'clock, if you're on the screen and it doesn't show this blue button or, this blue button and there's actually a property to sign up for, just hit refresh real quick. But I'm going to go ahead and sign up for this one just so you all can see the process. Look at that. It's that easy. I clicked the blue button. I've added this spot. You can see here that I'm signed up for this regulated area. That's all you have to do. Now this is, I think it's been referred to as a drawing. It's not technically a drawing. It's just, think of it as the beginning of our first come, first serve period, right? So starting on August 9th, all the way through the end of the season, you guys can sign in and out of these properties as they become available in your unit. If you'll remember, you can only have one RA at a time. So if, say I've got this bull week 2 permit, I'm on Buffalo Branch, say I'm hunting it on the first day of season, and I look here on the website and I see that Middlesboro has an opening for bull week 2. I can release this spot and jump into another one. I mean, you can't just, hop into Middlesboro, hope you get it, and then come back and drop this. You physically have to remove yourself from this spot before you can pick up another one. To do that, you just click this red button that says release spot, and you're not going to see it right now because it's the developmental site, but when the time comes that you can actually sign up for everything, after I hit this release spot button, kind of right here in the top part of the screen, there'll be a pop-up box that says, are you sure? So we put that in there so that you can't just be, scrolling through, clicking through stuff and then accidentally release yourself from the property. But if that happens, just give me a call or John, and we can get it set up for you. But that's kind of how this property or this process works. So what do we need to touch on next?
Yeah, just a couple things that I think, and you mentioned these, that it's important. So this is not a draw. As you mentioned, this is the start of sort of just the first come, first serve period that rolls through the entire system, through the entire hunting season. So if you are unsuccessful in picking up a regulated area on Monday morning at 8 a.m., keep checking things, check it through the season. Yep. People will shuffle around and these things will open up. And I would say, at least 50% of the time when we get a call during the season, there's usually a regulated area that's open, that's a huntable, that hasn't been signed up for. So just, make that kind of your first go-to. Check this thing every so often, and you can pick up some spots. So as I mentioned, first come, first serve all the way through the hunting season. As Joe mentioned, you got to release a spot. If you're currently signed up for one, you got to release that prior to signing up for another one. So don't jump on there Monday morning and think maybe you've got the Big Laurel track and you want to move over to Leatherwood. You're not going to have the option to do that until you release the track that you're currently on. We get some confusion out of that pretty often. And then Joe, talk to us a little bit about how these spots on the regulated areas can come open during the season.
All right. So obviously I showed you all where we go through and a hunter can manually release his spot. So aside from that, there's kind of 2 ways that this works, right? So using the example we have already for Buffalo Branch Tract, we have the one spot per permit across the board kind of. So say I'm, have this bull week 2 permit in Buffalo Branch. So I can either, again, manually drop it myself, or if I kill an elk on a different property, so say I killed an elk on some of the Asher hunting access area, You know, I'm no longer using that buffalo branch spot since I've already harvested an elk. So we would kind of hope that you all would go ahead and kind of on the honor system, just drop that spot. Or even if, you know, you get out there and you scout it and you decide that you don't want to hunt it, we would ask that you all drop that spot just to give other hunters an opportunity to jump onto a property. Now, conversely, if a hunter does kill an elk on that regulated area, we never open the spot. So that's kind of the reason that we have the number of spots allocated that we do when we're, you know, all these properties are privately owned. We go through the agreement process, trying to talk to the landowners, and they basically tell me how many hunters they want per permit type. And that's why you see the differences across the board. But that's an agreement between us and the landowner saying we will not kill more elk than X number on your property at that time. So if, you know, I have this buffalo branch track for week 2 and I kill an elk, the spot won't open again, just because we can't exceed the harvest that we told the landowners that we would allow. So refresher, we do try to run this on the honor system. If you do not plan to hunt the property or you kill an elk on a different property, we ask that you guys go through and just hit that release button for us. And we also do a fair amount of checking throughout the season too, to try to mainly ensure that the landowners get the appropriate amount of credit when an elk is harvested, but also to give people a chance to, as many people as a chance to get on these properties as we can. So if you get a phone call from me or John or one of our technicians, say you were signed up for Buffalo Branch, but I noticed that you killed an elk somewhere else in Unit 2, we'll probably give you a call or an email, something to try to verify. Because if you did harvest the animal on your regulated area, obviously we want to not open that spot so we don't exceed harvest, but we also want to make sure the landowner gets the appropriate amount of credit. But if you did kill it off the property, you know, we do want to open it so someone else can have a chance. And like you said, you can generally pick up spots pretty easily. It just kind of depends on where you are. We go through and check them every day during gun seasons and at least every other day during archery, where the harvest is a little bit slower. So we're constantly trying to, you know, verify harvests and open spots up as we can. But, you know, a lot of people, especially early on, they'll pick up a spot and they'll show up for their hunt, you know, like the day before, and tell their outfitter, hey, I've got, you know, Buffalo Branch. And that outfitter might say, well, we're not going to hunt there. That's not part of the area I cover, and just have you release it there. So that's a pretty good time, usually like the day before, day of season opener to look. And you know, a lot of times too, you might just have people, you know, within the first day or two harvest an elk, and then, you know, spots will open. So it's definitely a good thing to check it every day. And like I said, we don't really have a good method to see what's available other than to click through these properties, but it's something worth looking at. And we don't really have a specific time of day that spots will open up. They just kind of come open as we hear about them, or as hunters, you know, self-report and open the spots up.
Yeah, while we're thinking and while we were talking about telechecking and opening spots up, would you go ahead and sign up for Buffalo Branch and show them the control number? I think that's a good topic to cover.
All right, bear with me. I'm going to have to go back and open it.
And I can give a little background on this. So for all the elk hunters that are out there, you are being allowed access on these private lands, and the incentive is after so many elk are harvested, that actual landowner gets an elk tag. So us keeping track of the harvest on the property is exceptionally important to credit that landowner for opening up their property for hunter access. It's how this system works. We've got, you know, lots of hunters out there signed up for these regulated areas, and we want to make sure we give that landowner the appropriate credit. So when you harvest an elk on a regulated area that you're signed up for, in the box over here is a control number for that property. So the Buffalo Branch control number, 21048. And so as you're going through the telecheck process, both on the phone or on the internet, it will ask you for a control number, and that's where this number goes in. And that's what ties your elk harvest to a specific regulated area. So we can talk about this a little further as we get closer to the season, but I just thought it was important, for folks that have signed up. You've probably seen that. Folks that will sign up, you're going to see that. It's not a bad thing to have on you. We can always tell you what control number there is on any property for telecheck purposes, but write it on the back of your license next to what you're signed up for, just to facilitate, smoothing out the telecheck process a little bit. But the whole idea is, and why this kind of comes back to the honor system, is getting credit to that landowner. And if you're not going to hunt that area, open it up and let somebody else have the opportunity. It's really what it comes down to. We want to put people into these spots because it's available land to hunt. If you're not going to hunt it, open it up, let somebody else have the opportunity. And if you kill an elk somewhere else, just while you're telechecking it, think about opening up that spot for somebody else then as well. Like Joe said, we check on that pretty much daily. But either way, so let's recap. This goes live. So we're taping this on Friday afternoon. This goes live Monday, August 9th at 8 a.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. So it's going to be 7 o'clock in the morning for the Central Time folks out there. If you're not in an RA, this is a great opportunity to jump into a regulated area. If you're currently in an RA and want to switch, don't forget to release that spot that you've got, or it's not going to let you sign up for a different one. And I think most importantly, be checking back into this system as we move through the hunts. And spots every year, spots come open and people can jump in those spots and have a place to hunt. So just be checking back on it. Any questions that might pop up, send them to Joe and I for sure. Joe kind of runs the nuts and bolts in the background of this system, so he knows what he's talking about. I do as well, and we'll help you out with it.
One other quick thing
one
other quick thing I wanted to touch on while we're talking about this, because I don't think we've mentioned it before. We did run through and compile all the data from the area assignment period, area drawing back in July. If you'll go back to your MyProfile where it said 2020 area draw stats or area selection data, you can go through here and see that we've updated to 2021. Just if you're curious how people applied this year, how that might have changed, help you see kind of how people selected different things so that you can understand a little bit more about how you got what you got and things of that nature. But just some light weekend reading if you all want to see it. But that's all I've got. Best of luck to everybody. And like I said, this it does go live August 9th at 8 a.m., but this whole system will remain functioning and consistent throughout the remainder of the season. So plenty of opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. And as always, shout at us with any questions. More than likely next week, we're going to have a break. Joe's taking his annual family summer vacation next week, and I'm going to be in West Kentucky doing some deer surveys. Either way, take that week, think about what you want to learn about, and let us know. Shoot us an email, give us a call. We've got some hunting related topics coming up now that we're through kind of all the draws and all the sign up periods. We can kind of get down to the actual hunt part, and the season's coming up right around the corner. So let us know what you're interested in. It might be elk calling, it might be setting up for elk, it might specifically be what to do in that early archery season. So let us know, and we'll try to get that covered before the season opens up. But as always, I'm going to share Joe and I's contact info. Feel free to call us. We were a little bit behind there, but I think we're currently caught up on most of the emails and most of the phone calls. But keep them coming. We're happy to answer them. Get out there and scout, and we'll probably see you a week after next for our next webinar series.
Thank you.